Now this next bridge we've just come underneath is also a historic bridge. It's the oldest bridge in Chattanooga, as well as the oldest bridge to permanently span the Tennessee River. Built between 1890 and 1892, that's our Walnut Street Bridge.
That's pretty old years ago.
Walnut Street is what they call a camelback style truss bridge. You can see why, the humps. And now in the early 1970s, the bridge had fallen into disrepair. It was no longer deemed adequate to handle the width or the weight of the vehicles crossing it. So it was closed and slated for destruction. When it got down to the very day that demolition was about to begin on that bridge, but a group of people from Chattanooga got together, created a foundation, and raised the funds to have the bridge maintained. They removed the concrete and asphalt deck, redecked it with wood, and at the time it became the longest pedestrian bridge over freshwater in the entire world. It is still one of the longest in our country. At 2,375 feet, it's just under half a mile. And that's a wonderful feature of our downtown area now. We can see people on it at any time of day or night. Back on our starboard side to the top of the bluff, you'll see the Hunter Art Museum. The Hunter Art Museum is the centerpiece of our Bluff View Art District, and it's a modern art museum featuring American art. If you look at the very center of that museum, you'll see an old Greek revival home. That's the former home of a man by the name of Mr. Benjamin Thomas. Ben Thomas was a local Chattanooga lawyer. He and his partner, Mr. Whitehead, went down to Atlantic.
Whitehead.
They spoke to a druggist by the name of Mr.
Oh my
Pemberton.
God.
And they told him that they wanted to bottle and sell the product he had created.
I didn't know that was his
And
name.
Mr. Pemberton told them that it could not be done. He said he had invented a fountain drink and it couldn't be bottled and sold in that way. Well, the two men were quite persistent.
Oh,
Finally,
wow.
Mr. Pemberton gave in.
You like this brand?
He ended up writing them a contract
Yes.
for the
Yeah.
worldwide, exclusive, and perpetual rights to bottle
I wish my
Coca-Cola.
brother was here to join us.
He sold them that contract for the sum of $1. Well, the two men came back here to Chattanooga, contract in hand. They took on a third partner, a Mr. Lupton, who Lupton City up here is now named after. And they built the world's first Coca-Cola bottling plant. Chattanooga is the birthplace of bottled Coke.
Oh,
They
wow.
franchised the business first across the country and then across the world. Within 20 years, they were some of the richest men in
20
the entire
years?
world.
That was the
A little over 100 years later in 1992, their great-great-grandchildren sold those rights back to Coca-Cola. While the exact terms of that deal were not disclosed, it was said to be worth over $250 million.
Whoa, that's a lot of
Here
money.
in Tennessee, that's what we like to call a profit.
Profit? That's a cool name.
Now we've just come underneath the youngest bridge here in Chattanooga, built in 1984. That's our Veterans Bridge. The Veterans Bridge is dedicated to all the members of the military service, past and present, and it's meant to serve as a daily reminder of that service and the sacrifice that our military members and their families make to provide us with the rights and freedoms we so enjoy in
Wait,
our
turn right?
great nation. So folks would like to take just a
I can
moment
see it.
and acknowledge any veterans we may have here on board our boat and say, veterans, we thank you for your service and we appreciate what you've done for us. Folks, let's give our veterans a hand.
Yeah! Way to go, veterans! Good
Thank you for your
job!
support, folks, and thank you, veterans.
Woo! Yeah.
Here's a little trivia for you.
What is it?
If you look back at the Veterans Bridge and you count, you'll find that there are exactly 31 American flags along its length.
What?
Can anyone tell me what's the significance of that number? Why exactly 31?
Can
What
anybody
do you
tell?
think, kids?
I don't know.
Because Tennessee was the 31st state, right?
Yeah!
No, we were the 16th.
Oh, dang it! My
Because we've
bad.
had 31 veterans from here? No,
No.
we're the volunteer state after all. We've had many more. What about
Washington?
31 armed conflicts or wars?
Keith, see.
Haven't had that
Washington.
many yet. Give us another few years.
What
Not
about
for 31 days of the month. It's not for 31 flavors of ice cream.
I don't know. What is
Why are there
it?
31 flags on the Veterans Bridge? This
What?
is exactly 31 light bulbs. They couldn't fit anymore.
Oh, we got it wrong. We got it wrong. Miss Donald, he tricked us. He tried to trick me.
You guys
I
look here on
don't
our
know.
starboard side, you'll see an island. This is McClellan Island, named after the McClellan family that used to own it. It is now
Whoa.
owned by the Audubon Society.
I got that on video.
They've let it revert to its natural state, and it now serves as a rookery, nesting area for many different species of birds. We've got ducks and geese that nest here,
Ducky.
cormorants and kingfishers,
Duck.
hawks, herons, egrets, osprey, many
One
different
time
types
we
of
went on a
birds
duck
nest
boat
here.
a long time ago.
Now, if you guys look directly across here, you see this tree
Where?
with the dead top in it?
Where
See
the
those
rock? I
black
can't
birds
see.
that are sitting there in that tree? The ones with the long neck?
Where?
Those are cormorants. That's like a diving duck. They're the
Right
ones
here?
that will swim with their body below and their head above the water. Some people call them snake birds. And if you guys look at the tops of these tall trees right here, you'll
Where?
see a bunch of large nests. That's an example of a rookery. That's the nesting place of the great blue heron.
Squat. Squat.
If you look on the other side of the boat, you'll see Heritage Landing.
Other side.
That's the nesting place of rich people.
Right here. Ha ha. Oh, we're
Heritage
going back.
Landing has single-family townhomes. There's 2 or 3 units in each one of those buildings. For a 2-bedroom townhome right out here along the water's edge, it's about $1.5 million.
Whoa,
It's
that's
also
a
a gated community. The association fees are $750 a month.
I want to live
But
in that
you don't have to mow your own lawn.
The one that
You do have to get along with your neighbors, though, considering they're right on the other side of the wall from you.
Uh-oh.
Now, what do you see floating out here in the river that you didn't see before? What are these?
Fishes?
Buoys. That's exactly right. These buoys are aids to navigation. They mark the safe water that runs between here and Chickamauga Dam.
What?
This is where TVA guarantees that minimum of 12 feet that I mentioned earlier.
I'm not doing this right.
They're not boobies, they're buoys.
Boobies!
That's what he said, right?
Without boobies.
Now, the reason we haven't seen any buoys previously on our trip is
buoys, not
because
buoys.
downriver, the channel runs all the way from bank to bank. It's also the reason we're able to get so close to the bank in some of those places.
We're going forward
Now
now.
look back at Heritage Landing and tell me, what are they missing? If you paid $1.5 million for a place right on the water, what do you think you'd like to have? A boat dock, right? Or some type of access to the water? Well, the reason that Heritage
I got a
Landing
video
doesn't
of
have
that.
any access here is because of its proximity to that navigable
I hope
channel.
I'm doing it right,
They will not
guys.
allow them to stick docks or piers or anything out into the water here, as heavy commercial traffic like those barges makes
wow.
its way up and down the river. So, between having to get along with my neighbors and not having a place for my bass boat, I
Oh,
totally
boo.
moved out of that dump.
Ha 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 ha! That's
Why is that funny?
hilarious! That was hilarious! We're trying to tell my
I'll
dad.
have you know. I'll have you know I'm actually quite wealthy. I really don't even need to work.
Why?
It's just a condition of my parole.
Oh my gosh!
You know why this is the perfect job for me?
Why?
Well, I never get more than 10 miles away from downtown, so my ankle monitor doesn't start beeping.
Beep beep! Toot toot! Ah!
Just kidding.
Ah! Toot toot! Beep beep!
Now, as you can see, we've deviated from that navigable channel. Do not be alarmed. Remember, we've only got a 4-foot draft underneath our boat. We know we have plenty of room to operate in here on the backside of McClellan Island.
Sorry, I'm trying to get this on video.
If you look directly behind us right now, dead astern, you'll see
Behind?
the ridge line.
Right there?
That is Missionary Ridge. Missionary Ridge is where the climactic battle for Chattanooga took place during the Civil War.
Oh,
If you were looking back at that ridge line in 1863, what you wouldn't see along the top there would be any trees. The reason for that is the Confederate Army had cut them down and used them for fortifications and entrenchments. They had the Union Army under siege here in Chattanooga. There
Oh,
were no supply
wow.
lines coming in at all, and the Union Army was literally starving. Well, it was November the 25th of 1863.
That's my cousin's
After the battle
birthday.
For Lookout Mountain.
That's my cousin's
The
birthday.
Union Army attacked both sides of Missionary Ridge, and they sent a company of men to the base of the ridge, right where you see that low spot. It was their intention to perform a demonstration, a show of force, without actually making
I am
a
not
full
good at this,
attack.
guys.
But when the men got to the base of that ridge, they found themselves in a very precarious position.
Oh.
They were in the range of the mortars positioned at the top.
They
They knew
were?
they couldn't stay where they were, and they knew that they couldn't retreat. Without any direct orders, those men started up that ridge. They managed to make it to the top without suffering heavy losses, broke the line near the general's headquarters, and succeeded in pushing the Confederates off of Missionary Ridge and back down into Chickamauga, Georgia.
Chickamauga.
That broke the siege for Chattanooga. And while it wasn't the end of the Civil War, it was indeed the beginning of the end. That battle later became known as the death knell of the Confederacy. It happened right there behind us, November 20th. Here on our port side, you'll see another large vessel. That vessel is the Leisure
That's
Lady.
a house.
The
Where?
Leisure Lady was once a gambling boat in Tampa, Florida. When she was decommissioned by that casino company, the gentleman that lives there at the top of the hill purchased her, paid a captain to drive her across the Gulf of
that's a nice
Mexico,
house.
up the Mississippi, up the Ohio, up the Tennessee. He brought her into downtown Chattanooga and parked her on our city dock. He said, "I'm going to open a floating restaurant," and here I am. The city said, "Nice idea, buddy." "No, you're not." They said, "Get that and get the junk out of here."
Oh my
Well, they
god.
wouldn't grant him the permit, so he parked it there behind his house while he was trying to figure out what to do with it.
How cool was that?
Well, that's not where the story ends. About a year later, his next-door neighbor sued him. He said that the boat was obstructing his view of the river. Well, the case went to court, and the judge determined that since that's his personal dock, he can put anything he very well pleases on it. So now that boat sits there out of spite. True story. He says it'll rust to pieces and fall to the bottom of the river before he ever moves it.
Uh-oh.
10 years later, he's held true to his word. As we come back underneath the Veterans Bridge, you guys are going to get a good look at the Bluff View Art District.
Are we in the tunnel?
This is a natural limestone bluff. Limestone's the rock that
Underwear.
shapes the course of the Tennessee River. It's been below us this whole time. You're just able to see it here at this
That
point.
was pretty cool.
Now, the highest flood that they ever recorded here in Chattanooga happened in 1868. The water rose 65 feet above normal, putting it to the top of those rocks. It flooded downtown Chattanooga up to the 3rd story of the buildings.
Whoa.
Directly across to the top of the bluff, you'll see another old home. That is the McClellan House. Today it's a bed and breakfast, but in the late 1800s, that's where the McClellan family lived.
Really?
Now, Mrs. McClellan, well, she was a high society, socialite type individual. And after church on Sundays, she liked to bring her high society socialite friends back there to the house. Well, they'd have lunch and tea and look out over the water. They'd be
Son.
looking down here at the island and they would see the young people of Chattanooga. And they'd be hanging out, carrying on, doing things they thought were highly inappropriate. Well, Mrs.
wow.
McClellan complained about it. She complained to her husband, and complained, and complained. And finally, Mr. McClellan found himself left with only 2 options. Option 1 was throw Miss McClellan off the cliff down into the river.
What?
Option number 2 was contact the state and buy the island. So happy life, right guys? That's exactly what he did. Contacted the state, purchased the island. They cleared it off and raised cattle there for about 40 years. The only problem with that plan is this was before there were dams or any type of flood control here on the river. So every few years the water would come up, wash away the farmhouse, and all the cows would go floating down the river.
No.
So they got sick of chasing cows and boats. Left it in the trust for the Audubon Society, and that's why it is the way it is today. Now, for those of you that made it up here to our 3rd deck, you may have noticed on the back of our canopy we've got a series of train whistles.
Am I doing it
But by
right?
themselves, they're just train whistles, but if you put them all together, they form a musical instrument called a calliope. There's only 2 places in the whole world you'll ever see a calliope. One's on a riverboat, the other's at a circus on a carousel. So would you guys like to hear a little calliope?
Yeah.
Alright, let's fire this thing up.
Do it. and watch it. Fire that baby up! Does he give us some video? Oh wait, what's he doing? Get it. Whoa! Merry-go-round! I like this pond. I like the calliope. I got it recorded on my phone for my channel. My dad's gonna do a calliope.
Well, there you go, folks. Little music on the old calliope for you.
I like
realize
it.
I was multi-talented, did you?
It was awesome.
Now, in the old days, there was no better way to travel than by riverboat. It was smooth and comfortable. You didn't have to worry about the dust and the dirt and the bad smells of riding behind a horse.
Ew, my hair.
You had food, drink, entertainment.
It
You
smells
got to
pretty
meet
good.
nice and interesting people from all over the country and even the world. And who was the king of the river in those days? Well, it was the riverboat pilots, of course. And now when a riverboat pilot would come through a town and just pass,
Sorry.
he would let out one prolonged blast of the whistle. That way everyone in town would know to come down to the bank and wave as they went by. But if a riverboat pilot was coming into town to make a stop, each riverboat pilot had their very own personal call on the whistle. That way everyone in town would know who it was coming into town. And if you were expecting something or someone on that person's boat, you would know to head down to the landing and collect that person or that item. So would you guys like an example of a personal landing whistle?
Yeah!
All right, if you're on the bow of first or second deck, you might want to watch your ears. Ready? 3,
Oh,
2.
right! Watch your ears! Watch your ears! Watch your ears! Caleb, listen!
Alright, that was one long, two short. One long, one short. That was the call of a very famous riverboat pilot, and most of you know him by his pen name. That's right, Mark Twain.
Mark Twain!
Yes, that was Mark Twain's personal riverboat call.
They
And
have
Mark
it at-
Twain was a very famous
They have it at
riverboat pilot.
Disneyland.
But
They
not
have it at
because anyone knew
Disneyland.
him as an author back in those days. Mark Twain was a famous riverboat pilot because he was so highly skilled at his job navigating the upper Mississippi River.
They have it at
He was
Disneyland,
so
right?
skilled, in
That's
fact,
right.
that in a day and age when your average person would work all month long and be doing fairly well to bring home $50 in wages, Mark Twain was making $250 a month piloting his riverboat.
Whoa!
That's another tradition they like to keep alive here. That's about what they're paying me.
Oh, man!
Now, folks, we're going to start easing back up to the dock here. Don't run down. You can't get off. Please don't anyone try to swim ashore again. Wait till you hear one more short blast of the whistle. That'll let you know that the lines down below are all secure and that the doors are opening and it's time to depart the vessel.
Oh!
But before I get off here, folks, have you all had a good time today? What a beautiful day to be out here on the Tennessee River.
Yeah!
It's gorgeous. Now,
Yeah!
we run this trip about 9 months out of the year. We also do a 7 to 9 p.m. dinner and sunset cruise. Great
I wanna do
place
that.
to bring a date. And also
Caleb.
in the fall, we do a special 3-hour trip down into the gorge. That's the Grand Canyon of Tennessee that I mentioned earlier. That trip runs from the beginning of October through the middle of November.
I want to do
So if
that.
you are in town here in the fall, it is a great opportunity to come and see that natural wonder that lies so
Do you mind
close
if I
to
tell my
our
mom that?
downtown area. Folks, for those of you that have had lunch with us today, if you haven't already had a chance to take care
we
of
should
your
do it, like,
servers,
I wanna do
they've
it.
got a glass jar down on the first deck bar. I know they'll appreciate anything you do for them. And also, if you've enjoyed the smooth ride and narration, I'm up here in the wheelhouse and I do graciously accept tips. I also have a tip jar back there on the starboard corner of the third deck, there in the silver pail. I do believe it's on a table today. So folks, we thank y'all very much for being here with us
Thank
today.
you!
We hope you all enjoy the rest of your time here in the scenic city. And we hope that
Thank
you'll come
you!
and ride with us again. So thank y'all very much.
You're
and
welcome.
We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir. Woo! Thank you. Well, that was the tour, guys. I tried my best to vlog it, but leave a comment if I did it right or not. Yeah. Bye-bye, boat. I don't want to leave, but yeah. But it was fun. Well, guess where we're going, guys? Home. We're on the bus right now, and I don't wanna go home. I belong in this city. I don't wanna leave my boat.
Thank you.
Well, we're heading home because I don't wanna go home.
Thank you.
Another long, boring journey.
Long way.
Yeah, so we went to the bathrooms because we had to before the long drive. We probably don't want to make another pit stop. So we'll probably have to make another pit stop if they need to or not. We had to get home safe. I don't wanna go home. I'm alone in this city. I'm trying to make up a song. I love you, Chattanooga. At least Caleb doesn't hear me singing. At least my boyfriend doesn't hear me singing. We're doing roll call again.
Zaya,
Bye bye.
Addie, Nate, Brandon, Caleb,
Come on, baby.
Caleb, stay
here. Here.
Wade, Carol, Carol Kidd,
He's here.
Here.
Donna,
Bob's not here.
Zariah,
Oh my God.
Ansley, Abby,
Here.
Rain,
Here.
Kylie, Elijah,
I always speak up.
Elijah Solomon,
Elijah, say here. Here.
Chase, Kendall,
Here. Bob's not here.
Addison,
Here.
Addie always speaks up for Kendall.
Xavion.
Wish I had.
Xavion, raise your hand.
I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. I love it here. This is my new home. Yo. Heck yeah, it is. It's my new home. I don't want to go home. I belong in Mississippi, Chattanooga. This is my new home. I still belong in Mississippi.
Abby,
What, I'm trying to be funny, yo? Huh?
you wait.
I love it here, and I want to visit here in Dalton, and yeah, I want to visit Dalton and Healing. We're going home, Ansley, which I don't want to go home. I belong in Mississippi, Chattanooga, baby. I can't help it, I love it. It's my new song. It's called I Don't Want to Go Home. Fine. Well, bye Dalton, bye Chattanooga. I don't want to leave. I don't want to go home. Well, I know, man. It's just hard to leave, you know. I mean, I love this place, and it just makes me feel like it's like my new home. I just want to live like my future life. Like it's time to move on, you know, grow up. Well, I just feel like I'm 20 years old, and I kind of want to move here and visit.
No.
My family can come over and visit, yeah. I don't want to go home. I belong in Mississippi, Chattanooga, baby. I can't stop singing my new song, yo. Anyway, I'll give you guys an update. Bye-bye.